Hey up guys, Burnout Culture here. Welcome to another instalment of Arcade vs Spectrum. Tonight's instalment is this little gem, Star Wars. Uh, Basically one of the greatest, most well-known arcade games of all time. I think we can safely say. So from 1983. This machine was developed by Atari, designed by Mike Halley. It's a single, I'm sure everyone's played it, but it's classed as a single person, single player, first person rail shooter, I guess you could call it, using vector graphics. Very simple but a very effective, really addictive gameplay. So you play as Luke Skywalker, Red 5, in your X-Wing fighter. There's only really 3 stages to the whole game. Like the first stage or the first phase, you're above the Death Star and you're sort of engaging combat with TIE fighters that are shooting you. You've got to take them out. The second stage, you're flying over the surface of the Death Star, getting shot at by bunkers, etc., laser turrets, that sort of thing. And then the final scenario, you're in the trench of the Death Star, aiming to get to the end of the trench where you can fire a direct shot into the exhaust port of the Death Star, which sort of destroys it. And then the game sort of starts from the beginning again, but obviously intensifies the amount of TIE fighters and what have you. Some interesting little screens that I saw dug out on the net. First picture's actually look, this is Spectrum, obviously from the Hit Squad re-release of it. Released many times, but this was the re-release version through Hit Squad. The speccy version of this is really fantastic. So the next few episodes of this Arcade vs Spectrum, they're going to be all no-brainers. The ones that are considered probably the best of the best in terms of arcade conversions anyway. So we're not really asking the question as usual, did the Spectrum version hold up to the arcade? I think we can safely say in the next sort of 8 to 10 episodes of this, they definitely did. The ones I'll show you are considered definitely the best. You can have your own opinion on it. You might disagree with that, but they're widely known as the best conversions. So this, what I'm going to show you here on this next slide, might be a bit difficult to see, was the actual bill of materials for the original arcade machine. So you see that 2nd of the 3rd 1983, and looking at the prices of the sort of the parts that was used for the original mock-up or prototype, if you like, of the machine itself. I think it comes to $1,249. There is, look, Mike Halley himself who designed it. So that's the actual original piece of paper from the BOM, the bill of materials. So that was fantastic. Another couple of interesting slides. So that apparently balsa wood MDF type thing was an original sort of mock-up. These are genuine photos, by the way. They're not sort of fakes. They are the actual. That was the original mock-up of the prototype of the sit-down cabinet. That was one of the blue sort of drawings. Sort of trying to get the concept to what the shape of the cabinet was. And the final sort of picture, you'll see they weren't far off. I mean, look at that. That's just a piece of beauty, that, isn't it? What I won't give to have that if I had a room big enough obviously to put it in, but to have that in your house, it must be so iconic. Absolutely fucking fantastic, that. Yeah, definitely one of my favourite arcade cabinets, that, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So I mean, generally, the sort of the home conversions were generally good anyway. Started off 1983, 1984, ported to Atari 2600, 5200, various others. And not until 1987, 1988 when it landed on most 8-bit and 16-bit, so Amiga and Atari ST, BBC Micro, Commodore 64, Amstrad, so they all got their own version of it. Amiga and Atari ST, almost arcade perfect, really good with digitised speech and what have you, just like playing the arcade really. Yeah, so you know, quite a simple game to be fair, but like you say, as you'll see on the Spectrum version, you know, not too far off from arcade itself anyway. Really enjoyable. So what we'll do is, as usual, we will cut to a bit of the arcade, and you'll see for yourself that how similar the guys that programmed the Spectrum version got to the actual arcade anyway. So I'll just cut to the arcade one now anyway. As usual, guys, pretty appalling on this game. I remember wanting to be really good on it in arcades, and I was shocking, and still am. So bear with. But like, it's not about looking at how bad my gameplay is. We're only looking at the Spectrum versus the arcade version. I'll give it a bash.
Red 5 standing by.
It's really hard to do. I know I remember playing this back in day on Amiga or ST, I can't remember which one. You can use mouse on it, and it's actually easier using bloody mouse. So God, I am bad at it. This joystick for this is a bit, I'll make it sound like I'm making excuses now, a bit slack. So you're tending to over aim that crosshairs, you get what I mean? It's zooming all over the place.
Red 5, I'm going in.
Right.
Use the ball.
Can't. So rather than shoot the bloody things, I'm more or less having to dodge them all because I just can't get that crosshair. Can't get that crosshairs on all. It's too. Oh jeez, yeah.
Yahoo! You're all clear, kid.
Right, so. Oh, what we've got? Shields 5 left. Obviously, it gets a damn sight harder than this on the later stages. Let's say you got to remember this is 1983. Imagine, what were I? 8 years old then. I missed it again. Shite. Don't think I certainly didn't play it when I was 8, but I don't know. I'll be in mid-teens when I finally got to have a go on this game. But even then, it seemed bloody awesome, but I remember just being basically terrible on it, loving the film so much and wanting to be so much better than I ever was going to be. Got to somehow get that. Even R2D2 pissed off at me now. Jesus Christ, I'm terrible at that. Anyway, you get the general idea. If I had another 45 goes and I managed to hit that exhaust part, you'd see Death Star blow up. So we'll see. You'll see what I mean by how sort of near the mark the speccy version was. It's pre-loaded up, so you won't see a loading screen on this one, unfortunately. But we'll just jump to gameplay this time round. So this is 48K version. Don't think they had a 128K version of this anyway, to be fair. So there's no sound, certainly on this emulated version. Now I've actually got this on Hit Squad somewhere. I'm sure I have. So I'm not sure if there were any sound or not. But yeah, this one hasn't got any. Not that you need any, to be fair. So crack on. So straight into the action. Whoa, bloody hell, I got to actually hit one. Oh, that shield's taking a bit of a hammering, isn't it? There's a Death Star. Down to one bloody shield there. Got hit loads of times, didn't it? See if we can. No, at the top of them all. Is that cheating? I didn't go down when you hit that. Oh, shield gun, no! No! Oh, jeez. Yeah, not one of my best gameplay vids, that were it, guys. But like I say, it's just to show the comparison, and I think you'll all agree it's pretty much cock on, minus the sound, obviously. You'll have to check that actually. I don't know if there was sound. Maybe it's this. Maybe just this emulated version that's missing the sound, or maybe there was a 128K version. I know on my options list it don't give me the 128K version on this, so I'm not too sure. Right, guys, brilliant. Thank you for watching, and that was the Star Wars comparison. I think one that the Spectrum coders from the time could be proud of, definitely. Pretty much bang on to arcades, definitely that one. Right, guys, take it easy. I'll see you soon.